All right, guys. Morning reaction towards to the Alabama LSU game. I think I'm definitely in a lot more. I'm definitely in a calmer state of mind compared to how I was yesterday. But still feel numb. I still feel like Georgia will still kick our ass if we would play them today. But if there's one thing that I think I learned is that I've really come and really grasped the reality of the situation that we're not winning the national championship this year. We're not winning the SEC this year. This is a rebuilding year for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I know, again, you can call me a fair weather fan. I don't really care. But we just have to look at the reality of the situation. This team has been an inconsistent mess. Every single game, there is one huge area that is a weak point towards this football team. And every single week, we keep stressing that they're going to make improvements. They're going to get better in these particular areas. And even if we do get better in some of those particular areas, there's always a new mess, a new huge mess that all of a sudden was good a prior week, and now all of a sudden it's become a weak point. This team is just full of inconsistent holes, and I don't know if Alabama has enough time to get it all together. It's like we can say this maybe around week after the Florida game. We can say this after the A&M loss, but we're in week 10. We're in week 10, and I feel like this was the final straw. If we can barely score more than 17 points against a depleted LSU football team that's down to their third and fourth string players, how the hell do you expect me to believe that we're going to beat Georgia? Like, this is what I want to, like, I want to know this to any Bama fans that have called me a fair weather fan or that are still confident. Like, please let me know in the comments make me believe that we can do this. Because at this point, I'm all out. I'm all out saying that we can beat Georgia this year. I just don't think that this is going to be it. Our offensive line sucks. We had one injury in Darren Delcourt, and people saying, well, that's the reason why our offensive line was bad. But Darren Delcourt, even when he was healthy, got his ass kicked in the line of scrimmage too. We moved our natural center back to his natural position, but you can tell there's a lot of ring rust with snaps. But I wasn't, again, those low snaps and stuff like that, that's going to happen, especially when you haven't played center in a while. But what just kind of boggled my mind, guys, was that Chris Owens got his ass blown off the line of scrimmage, got destroyed off the line of scrimmage. So that's what kind of killed me. We just don't have it. We lack strength. I hate to say it, I don't know if we lack size, but we lack the strength. We lack the athleticism. We're too damn slow. We don't fire with enough pop on our offensive line. It's the same three areas. It's our interior offensive line. And again, strangely enough, guys, Damian George, who was our backup right tackle, actually played really well today. I thought he did a very good job against B.J. Ojulari. But Evan Neal and Damian George were our two kind of key stars for the offensive line. Bill O'Brien has got to go. I think I've jumped off that bandwagon. Bill O'Brien has no creativity at all in his passing repertoire. This is a guy that constantly sends his players on deep routes and goes and and digs and deep digs and post routes, and he never has a hot route. He never has any sort of he could never figure out any sort of adjustment to LSU's stacking the box with 7-8 guys and pretty much just sending the all-out blitz. There were times where LSU played literally cover zero, and we had no hot route. We had no answer to try. We had no answer at all for it. The only time that we actually did something was when we decided, okay, they're stacking the box. Well, we got a good matchup here with a safety, with literally a third string safety against our star receiver, and we took advantage of that. But where was that the rest of the game? Like, where were the sort of adjustments that needed to be made against LSU's front? And that just was not happening. And the funny part is we couldn't make those adjustments against A&M when they were stacking the box and they were pretty much sending safeties on the all-out blitzes, and we couldn't do shit against it. And now the same thing happened against a depleted LSU football team that, again, and I'll give LSU and Durante Jones credit, they pretty much threw all the chips in the table. They threw all their chips on the table, and they decided to say, you know what? Screw what we normally do. Let's just go after Alabama and see what happens. And for the most part, it worked. So now, for the most part, there is a blueprint. It's now a consistent blueprint of how you can slow down this Alabama football team. Stack the box, send pressure. Stack the box, send pressure. Our offensive line, again, is mediocre at best. The fact that we only had 6 yards rushing against the worst rushing team, the worst rushing defense in the SEC, I think speaks volumes to where we're at. And again, it's week 10. So the offensive line, in my opinion, it's unfixable. It's unfixable. At this point, I would love to see J.C. Latham or the Brockermeyer brothers, or again, this all-star offensive line recruiting class that we've been talking about, that everyone's been talking about for about a year now. But the fact of the matter is, guys, is that we haven't seen one of those players play, even start. And I don't know if it's just indicative of how, if they're just not ready yet, or if, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, if there's one thing that I've learned is that, again, I've just accept reality. I've just grasped the situation. We're just not good enough, man. We're just not good enough to get there. And again, if Alabama could beat Georgia, it'll be one of the happiest days of my life. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening this year, guys. I just don't see it. There's too many holes, too many inconsistencies that make me believe that Alabama is just not there. Our secondary, our defense played really well today. But if there's one thing to talk about, it was the fact that, once again, we struggled with pre-snap motion. And it's been happening since week 1 against Miami. We continue to struggle with pre-snap motion in our secondary, and it's caused a crap ton, a majority of our busted coverages. Miscommunication with the back end of the secondary when it comes to pre-snap motion. And I just don't understand why we continue to have trouble with it. At this point, I can't even blame Pete Golding anymore. That's just the players. It's the same shit every single week. And that continues to be a big issue. If there's bright spots, it's that Will Anderson was once again our best player. And Will Anderson is the best defensive player. Everyone's talking about Jordan Davis. Will Anderson is the best defensive player in college football, and he should be in New York. I thought Dallas Turner played well today. I thought our defensive line stayed strong and played their asses off. So if there's one bright spot, it was that we held LSU to under 14 points, and when we needed them the most, they came up clutch. They came up huge for us. But overall wise, I don't expect this football team to really go anywhere. I don't expect this team. I think at this point, I think we really have to question, can this team even make it to Atlanta? Because we're one loss away before A&M gets on top of us and they're back to first place in the division. So yeah, guys, that's just my morning reaction. I'm a lot more calmer now, but the fact of the matter is that we're just not ready. We're just not ready this year. And I don't know if we can ever be at that level like we were last year. It'd be great if we can show up and have more of a consistent effort. It still is possible that we can play it because we did it against Georgia last year. But the problem was that was in week 4, week 5. This is week 10. And we're now going into week 11 off a bye week where we barely beat a depleted LSU football team that were down to the 3rd and 4th string players. So it's Georgia and it's everybody else because everybody struggled. Ohio State struggled. Michigan State lost. Oregon struggled with Washington. Oklahoma, there's questions about them. It seems like it's Georgia's world and everyone else is just living in it right now. So we'll see what happens, man. That's just all I can say. We'll see what happens, but an embarrassing win. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but an embarrassing effort an embarrassing win from our offense. LSU simply outcoached us, and there's just too many holes, too many weaknesses. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave you guys to your morning. Jant Sports, aka Jant716. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy Sunday night. Enjoy your Sunday football games, and I'll catch you guys later for more reactions. Peace.